This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook, and we're here at the 2019 UIC Medicinal Cannabis Symposium. We're speaking with John Leith. How are you, John?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
John, you're the CEO and founder of Oz Medicann Group.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about your story and why it came to be.
Very strangely enough, because if anyone first of all had asked me if I was going to be in the medicinal cannabis industry, I would have laughed at them. But it was by chance where my niece in Scotland came down with epilepsy, and my brother had actually kept that from his immediate family. And the reason he did is because he's a barrister, and he was very concerned that he was actually getting product from the black market.
Right. So he was accessing black market product.
Yeah.
Which, if he made it public,
he would have lost his
career.
job. That's right. Yeah, and he's, prominent in that space. But it never ever stopped him from actually, getting the product or getting the oil for his daughter. But what he did do though is he didn't share it with his family. Because he's very conservative, and he felt that was going to, he was going to be judged for doing that. So it was 10 years later he made the announcement.
It's a really interesting thing that I've never had the negative view of cannabis, but I have had the illicit view of cannabis.
Yeah.
I've been to university sort of thing. But it must be a real huge culture shock from somebody quite conservative,
yes.
Particularly when you're coming from a conservative career like law, police, that sort of thing,
yes.
medicine,
yes.
to make that jump about, that's fine, but I have a need.
Yes, look, I have to say, I actually was a bit taken aback. I didn't know anything about the industry, and when he did tell us this, I was one of the brothers that went, you're doing what?
Yeah.
Because we automatically think drugs, and we think the black market and
gateway drugs.
Yes. So because I didn't know what I didn't know, I sort of semi-judged, and so did some of our other family members. But it was an opportunity for me to do a bit of research and development in that space, and I took myself off and did a global program, which is a Masters of Business Innovation around the solutions for medicine. And I actually was quite amazed at what I discovered. And I didn't realise that it was the largest growing medicinal product in the world today. So there's a lot to be said and doing a bit of homework, and there's a lot to be done when it comes to the stigma associated with cannabis.
Two brilliantly said things, the stigma and learning.
Yeah.
So you've opened up. What would be your call out to other people, parents, caregivers, health professionals, politicians, legislators who are still at that orthodox stance?
Look, first of all, I can understand why, because like I just said to you, I was in that, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
What I would say is, I would ask people, if it was your daughter, would you actually, what would you do to save your daughter's life? Because that's essentially what my brother did. And I think when you put it in that term, people tend to sort of get a wake-up call and think, well, actually, if everything else failed and there was this one product that helped, then why would I be holding that back for my daughter that's going to save their life?
You know what? I hate saying this, but I actually think it's going to take an Australian politician's daughter to get epilepsy, an Australian politician's wife to suffer cancer, for them to really wake up to the real uses and issues regarding supply and prescription and use of medical cannabis in Australia. I hate saying that, but I just can't see it happening. They're just dragging their feet. So I've got to ask you, as a CEO of a company group, how have you found the Australian legislative landscape?
Well, you're going to be terribly disappointed because my view is, and my experience has been that Yes, it's difficult. Everyone knows that it's difficult. But if it wasn't difficult and it was a free-for-all, then it may not give the best benefits to the patients and the consumers. So whilst the legislative framework was tight at the beginning, I can say that it's actually much easier now to navigate, and there's a lot of people who have come from it being very difficult to having better availability and access as well. So it could always be better, and I know that people at home will be saying for sure that it's not where it needs to be. Yeah. But it's like anything that's new, and Australia has to take the precautions that it has to.
Yeah, unfortunately though, I get your point that you baby steps, and if it was a blood pressure innovation, one would think, baby steps, and we need to know what we're doing. I really have issues when we're dragging our feet.
Yes, look, I mean, and I sort of tend to look at things a bit lateral in regards to, it was illegal not that long ago. Yes, it seems an awful long way, because if you need a medicine, you need it now. But from a big picture perspective, it's actually come along faster than I anticipated. Right. But it's the access and it's the medical industry that we need to educate to be able to feel comfortable and have the confidence to prescribe the products.
Gotcha. And tell us about your involvement with United in Compassion. Where's the link?
Well, it's a great story actually, because I met Lucy about 2 years ago now, and I was at the beginning of setting up the Oz Medicann Group, and it really made me think about how we could represent or support a social enterprise, and that was something that was very close to my heart, was setting up a social enterprise. And after meeting with Lucy, I thought, well, that's great, because we can then apply our products. So we have various hemp beverage products that we can actually, put financial figures on the table and actually make money for the United in Compassion fund and charity.
So get something in the background going ka-ching while you're actually helping United in Compassion.
Yeah, well, I mean, I took a really sort of dim view when I did all my research, and I discovered that there's a lot of companies going straight to the stock exchange. As a Scotsman and a Scottish person, I like to bet on a good deal. And whilst I might take a bit of risk, I don't like to invest in blue sky. And what I discovered is that a lot of them, very well meaning I'm sure, were going straight to an IPO in the Australian Stock Exchange. They were collecting a lot of money, tens of millions and if not hundreds of millions. And it's a huge opportunity for people who are in it for the wrong reason. I'm not suggesting that they are, but my position was that I wanted to create a business that was socially enterprise focused, that also created products that produced revenue that would go towards things like clinical trials, research and development. And from an investor's point of view, it means that if they invest in our company, then we're not bleeding that money and draining it every month with our product before we bring a product into the market. And a lot of people have jumped the queue without any product or solution and come to the market with their business, taking money from investors. And that was the opposite to what the Oz Medicann Group did and does. So we are a private company. We are patients above profits. Our entire business philosophy is around better patient access, and that fits beautifully with United in Compassion. So Lucy and United in Compassion are very much linked with our business and our brand, and they will continue to be as long as our brand is alive.
John, you've done wonderful work. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for joining us on FX Medicine
Thank you much. That's great. I really appreciate that.
This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook.